I am the author, and Ianto Jones is coming back. So Thursday morning, around about 10 o'clock, I get a phone call from Joseph. Actually 3 phone calls, because I was asleep through the first one, picked up the second one, didn't hear anything, hung up after about 20 seconds. And then it rang a third time, and I realized my earbuds are still plugged in, and I was too asleep to notice. It was news worth waking up for, though. I'd say there was much rejoicing when Joseph told me that Ianto was coming back, but honestly I didn't know what to make of it. For anyone who isn't up to speed,
this is Ianto Jones. Ianto cleans up after us and gets us everywhere on time.
I try my best.
And he looks good in a suit.
Careful, that's harassment, sir.
This little shit has had me emotionally hostage for 4 years and counting now. Ianto was a character on Doctor Who's darker and edgier spin-off called Torchwood, which starred Captain Jack and his little gang of horny, morally ambiguous 20-somethings who make bad life decisions. Ianto was what TV tropes might call the ensemble dark horse. He got barely 5 minutes worth of screen time in every episode, and boy did he make them count. Ianto captured a lot of hearts and became a fan favorite, and during his time on the show became a valuable member of Jack's aforementioned little gang, and also Jack's lover. And then they killed him off in the miniseries called Children of Earth, and there was a massive fan outcry about it, and Russell T Davies entirely dismissed it and defended his decision as good storytelling. Now, better people than me have written entire essays on why this line of reasoning is absolute bollocks, and this decision was one of Russell T Davies' worst ideas ever. For now, I'll leave that statement as a sentiment with which I'm personally inclined to agree. So Ianto's death had a massive impact on the fandom, and they spent years trying to bring him back. They petitioned the studio, raised money for charity, and that failed. They built a shrine in his memory. It's on Mermaid Quay in Cardiff. I've actually been there. For my part, I got into the fandom in 2011, which was thankfully a full 2 years after the fact. I found out about Ianto's death ahead of time, completely noped out of Children of Earth. I still haven't seen it. I was also spared the worst of the fallout, and from what I hear, some of the more rabid fans behaved quite disgracefully and cast the rest of the fandom in a really bad light. Not, I think, unlike what's happened in more recent months with the Super Wholock crowd. I have a very weird relationship with the show. It tends to involve me ranting about how absolutely trashy it is while being unable to climb out of the dumpster. I long since abandoned canon to write my own fanfiction, and I've spent the last year and a half or so moderating the Torchwood Hug Hub on Tumblr to dispense tea and sympathy and alternate universe headcanons to other emotionally compromised viewers. This time last year, I made a post there for the 5th anniversary of Ianto's death and had this to say about it all. We have made other stories, hundreds upon hundreds of alternate realities created by you, by us, by the members of the fandom, when we refused to accept the story that was handed to us and chose to create our own. And we cherish these stories and their creators as we do the first iteration that brought us all together. For all that the death of Ianto at the hands of the original creators was a blow, we took that life for our own and developed his potential in ways that the powers that be could never dream of accomplishing. And also we made each other happier in the process. So we're all stories in the end, and this one is ours, with our shrine and our bags of coffee and sheer stubbornness and a fuck ton of creative genius. This is our fandom, and I'm glad you're here, and we're going to make this story a good one. So now here we are. Big Finish is delighted to announce that fan-favorite actor Gareth David Lloyd will star as Ianto Jones for the second release in the new series of Torchwood audio dramas. So if I didn't know how to react to the idea that our most precious of cinnamon rolls is returning to the Hooniverse, it's because I grew to like the idea that he belonged to us now. I stopped being one of the voices who clamored for him to come back because there was a part of me that knew to be careful what we wished for, and no matter how they went about the return of Ianto Jones, I'd already read 100-odd versions, and any number of them vastly superior to anything I could expect from canon. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about all this, because it's easy to spend a lot of time anticipating and speculating and hyping something up only for it to be just fine, but not everything you hoped it might be. But I'm looking forward to the promise that Ianto's story is about to continue. I don't know at what point in the Hooniverse chronology this episode will take place, but there's a likelihood that it will be a continuation and not prequel content. And I'm sure whatever they do, Big Finish will do this brilliantly. And if nothing else, I have missed his glorious Welsh vowels.